Howdy. Okay, we're live now. Hey, everybody, this is Rick Grantham. Welcome to episode 2 of Excel TV. I'm Rick Grantham from rickgrantham.com. Let's go ahead and do a round of introductions real quick. First off, your favorite dapper crypt keeper, Oz Du Soleil.
The Oz Du Soleil here. Got my bow tie on, even though these people won't listen and put their bow ties on to get ready and really do some Excel. We're going to whip it on you from Chicago. And that's me, Excel Gaucho, keeping your data clean.
Gaucho got to keep it clean. Next up is if he was wearing a straw hat, you would swear he was breaking Amish. Gordon Goldmeier.
Hey everyone, I shaved for this occasion, so this is very, very important tonight. I didn't get my hat on, didn't get my bow tie, but I am raring to go in sunny Ohio. So let's do this.
Let's do this thing. So first off, we have our challenge of the week. Now last week,
Rick,
yeah, what?
Go introduce yourself. You didn't introduce yourself last week. Come on.
Okay, man. I'm Rick Grantham, rickgrantham.com, data dude. I'm just kind of a data analysis guy. Excel community journalist. How about that? I'm a fan of everybody. So thanks for that. Thanks for that, Oz. So first up, last week we had a challenge. We put out a challenge out there. Jordan did to talk about. I guess he put some code out there, some high-tech sort of stuff, and he has a winner to announce this week. Somebody's going to win some swag, and we also have next week's challenge coming up. Jordan, take it away.
Okay, let me put on our new shiny challenge. This is the VBA Express Weekly Challenge. You know, we invested in some graphics here. So this is we're proud to present the VBA Express. This is sponsored by VBAexpress.com. Our folks. Special thanks to Christopher Fennell and Jacob Hildebrand. And last week we were giving away mouse pads for our winner. This week we are still giving away mouse pads, but we have this new fancy one right here, courtesy of Christopher Fennell at excellandaccess.com.
It's got calligraphy on it this week and everything, man.
Yeah, this is great.
That's high class, man.
This is good stuff, and let me tell you, Christopher Fennell is a former surfer, so this is really kind of that surfer aesthetic. You put this down on your desk, you are going to instantly feel chill. Everyone's going to walk by and wonder why you didn't get anything done, but they'll know why because of this mouse pad. So
that's great.
This week's winner is going to get that mouse pad, and we thank everyone for participating. We're very excited for this, and we're excited to keep the challenges going on. So we're going to just switch to that challenge. 1 second. Everyone see that up on my screen? Okay, great. So last week we asked you what was wrong with this code. We got several answers, most of them correct. And remember, we're picking a winner at random, so I'm just going to highlight it for you. This BLN found as integer. That BLN is the Hungarian notation for Boolean. And we also had a few other folks come in who said, well, you probably shouldn't have said I as integer, and you probably shouldn't declare as integer. You should use long. Thanks for your thoroughness. We appreciate that. But this initial Boolean found is what we were looking for. So we're glad to all our participants, and we did pick a winner at random. And this week's winner is Joseph. Hopefully I say his name right. Cerrito. He writes for spreadsheetsmadeeasy.com. Congratulations, Joseph. We're going to be sending a deluxe mouse pad your way. Make sure to check out his website, spreadsheetsmadeeasy.com. So I know you're all excited for this new VBA Express challenge. So here's our challenge. So, you know, there are some formula functions for which you can change one letter and turn it into another function. So here we can change H and H lookup to V for V lookup. So here's the challenge. What are the two smallest functions that exhibit this feature? And when I say smallest, I mean shortest in characters. So you got to provide us two small functions that have this feature. So again, change one letter, it turns into another function. So have fun, have at it. Now, if you think you know the answer to this week's challenge, You can write it on the back of a mint condition Xbox One and send it to my house, or you can go to Excel TV Challenges, the Excel TV Challenges forum at vbaexpress.com, or you can write it as a comment on our Facebook or our Twitter. We're going to have the challenge details up tomorrow, so have at it, and we thank you for watching and enjoying the challenge.
Great. We'll keep that up there for one more second, if you could, Jordan. I'm afraid the camera might have been on me, so we'll keep that up there for one more moment. Let's take a look at that. Do you know the answer? Right there. Hey, could you bring back up the
question?
The challenge one more time?
Sure, we sure can.
Yes.
So, change one letter in one function, turns into another one. So what are the two smallest? I know you guys can find this. It took me a while. So if it takes you a while and you want to, it doesn't take you a while, I should say, and you want to rub it in, feel free. Send us your answers. We'd love to see them.
Great. Thanks for that, Jordan. So so the very smallest function. So you had to go and actually research this to kind of find out which one was the smallest one.
That's right. I did.
And I wound up using a len function to find it myself. But anyway.
Just saying.
Wah, wah. Do we have a drum? Do we have like a?
Put
up in here.
So EA Express forum challenge. What's the best way for them to send that to you? Just through Facebook, through anything else? How's the best way to get that to you?
Last week we had suggested that you comment or you send us a private message. This week, we want to foster community engagement, so you don't have to send us a private message. Just if you think you have the right answer, post in the comments. If you see other people with the right answer, post it anyway, because remember, every time you post that right answer, you are in the drawing for a deluxe mouse pad. And we're going to have a lot of great other materials to send, other prizes and awards to send. So please, have at it, keep going. We love that. We love that community engagement. And you can also go to vbaexpress.com. Make sure to go into the forums, and there you'll see the Excel TV challenge in news sections, and you'll go into the challenge. And we'll have that posted up there either tonight or tomorrow morning. So we're looking forward to that.
I'm thinking should have like some real whopper of a quiz, and I'll have my friend up in Canada make a bow tie and send it there. Yeah.
You have a.
What are you saying there?
You have access to bow tie manufacturing.
This is custom, man.
All right, that's big city. You need to get those over to Christopher Fennell then, man.
All right.
That's what you need to do. All right. Well, thank you very much for that, Jordan. Appreciate it. Next up is our special guest for this week, Mrs. Kari Finn. Now, Kari Finn is one of the people that's involved in the MVP program. She's actually joining us from Redmond. She's a Microsoft employee around community service. Kari, would you mind saying hello and just telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Yes, I'm here from beautiful Redmond in my luxurious office, which has 4 walls and a fluorescent light. That's pretty much the extent of it. And in this office, I am the community program manager that has a relationship with Microsoft MVPs, or most valuable professionals, mostly in the consumer space, products like Office, like Excel. And basically what that means is we find super excellent expert community enthusiasts out there in the world, and then we reach out to them and award them this special recognition, and then for the next 12 months we have a relationship with them to work together in the community. And it's totally awesome. I love my job. It's really rewarding. I get to meet great people like Jordan and work with him, and so far I've been here for about 4 years, and I just feel like I'm getting started.
Great.
Now, thank you so much for joining. Go ahead, Jordan.
Now, would you say that Excel MVPs are your favorite?
Of course I would. Absolutely.
Let me think about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, I love all of my MVPs equally. but the Excel MVPs have a little extra flavor.
They're an odd bunch. Just saying.
In other words, they're an odd bunch.
Yeah, in other words. I had an interview maybe about 2 or 3 weeks or so ago with Bob Umlas. Umlas. I keep saying it wrong. Bob Umlas this week. And he said, I guess he was involved in the program from the very beginning. Where from the interview, he said his name was found in a book somewhere where somebody referenced him, and next thing he knows, he's invited to some sort of summit. From your perspective, what are these summits like? If somebody's going to walk in for the first time and be part of the MVP program, and say Jordan or somebody walks in for the first time, what does that look like for them? What all is involved in that?
Can we back up a second and say, okay, so you got some Excel users somewhere, and they start seeing Excel MVP. What is MVP?
That's a great question.
Why aren't they just, hey, you know a lot of Excel stuff? What makes them an MVP?
That's a great question. There's a magic combination of factors, and it depends on what part of the world you're in. But here in the U.S., well, as a general rule, anyone who is an MVP is someone who is, number one, an expert in some Microsoft technology, like Excel. The other very, very important component is that they use their expertise to help some group of people in the community through some fashion. So that would be answering questions on forums, or writing those Excel for Dummies books, or they do user group leadership events and host speaking engagements and a million other things. But the spirit of the award is definitely one that someone who has this expertise is at the top of their game and is using that passion to help other people in the community use it and learn it better. That's in a nutshell what makes up a Microsoft MVP.
Gotcha.
So being smart at the tool isn't good enough. You got to be out there in the community making it happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gotcha. And so what's the big deal with that? Do you get a plaque and a handshake?
High five? You learn the secret handshake?
You get one of these.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we do teach the secret handshake at the MVP Summit, but we can't obviously disclose what that is to you guys. But
right.
But yes, they do get a fancy statue, and they also get a dedicated account manager, who would be me.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
And they also are invited to be on a distribution list with the people who make the product that they're an expert in. So the engineers and all the people involved who make that Excel product, they can have conversations with them, constantly to say, oh, I found a bug in the product, or hey, I have a suggestion of a feature that would make this product work better. And then there's a multitude of other opportunities that we will present to MVPs during their award year that they can either take advantage of or not. And the biggest benefit is this MVP Summit that Rick alluded to.
Okay.
It's a really, just to come back to that point, it's a really amazing, spectacular, huge, and intense week where we invite our MVPs from all over the world. Currently there are about 3,800 of them, and of that group about 1,800 make it. So we invite 1,800, well, we invite the whole 38, but 1,800 come. They are put up in hotels and fed 3 times a day, and then they're invited to session after session about news about what's going on with the product, ways to build your community better, and mostly hugely, deeply technical deep dives with other MVPs around content that they can't share with the community. So it's like top secret stuff on what's going on with the product. Mm-hmm. And by the end of that, they're normally pretty exhausted, but it's a really fun week because you You get to hang out with all of your peers. You're going to all kinds of events where you're socializing with people who work at Microsoft and make those products, with other people in communities, with MVPs you may not communicate with because they're in a different country. We have fun events, like we have one called the MVP Showcase, where about 100 of the MVPs will be showcased in like an expo type event where they can let everybody know what they're working on, and it's a great place for people to network and meet each other, and then work on projects throughout the year.
All right. So it's a really big deal. There's something substantive. It's not just a plaque and some name to be able to call yourself, but to have access to the people who do develop the product, meet other people. All right, so yeah, that does sound like.
Oh, it's a good time. I just want to say, I've been to places that have described the food set out as like a smorgasbord, but only at that summit was it an actual, veritable smorgasbord. I mean, there's just so much good food. I can't stress that enough. I mean, yes, the technical meetup, the people you meet, but the food is quite amazing. But no, it is quite an amazing experience. And so, if you, Kari, if you could just take a second, how does one become an MVP?
That is another excellent question, Jordan. And it's one that's a bit shrouded in mystery. And that is because we don't actually like to say exactly what someone will have to do in order to earn this award. And we do that for a couple of reasons. The main one is so that we can really keep the spirit of the award alive, where mostly we want to find people who are doing whatever they're doing because they're passionate about it, not because they want to, have 15 things that add up to this award. So that's the main reason. And the other reason is it's different for every region. What makes an Excel MVP in the United States is quite different than what makes an Excel MVP in, say, Sub-Saharan Africa or something like that. There's the level of community involvement and opportunities available to people in different countries will make for different criteria. But in general, how someone becomes an MVP is that they, number one, start by doing whatever it is they're passionate about doing. That's the most important thing.
Okay, everybody, we're back. So here's the thing that happens. We're hosting this from a hotel room this week because I'm here at a conference, and so there's that magic 24 hours to where you're in a hotel room and like you get internet connection and it's good for 24 hours and you don't know when it's going to end. And we found out that it ends at about 9:23 p.m. Eastern time in the hotel room I'm staying in. So my apologies for that. Hopefully most of you are able to make it back on or to be able to get the recording later on. We're going to pick up with the last question, though. Jordan, would you mind asking Kari that question again?
Sure. So what I asked Kari was, what is a way that someone could be nominated for becoming an MVP? So that's the process. I imagine people become MVPs is through nominations from either fellow MVPs or other folks at Microsoft who catch their attention, or they can nominate themselves, which is actually what I did.
You nominated yourself?
I did, and I was afraid because I thought...
That's like a thing. That's like a thing.
Right. It took a year before I got it, so I wanted to know, and I know we answered this question before.
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
No, you can. You can.
That's a good thing. Wow.
So can we, okay, so is that the question that you want to start with? Because I don't know when we got kicked off.
No, that is when we got kicked off because I got a message from one of our esteemed viewers.
All right.
Thanks, viewer. Thanks, viewer number 4.
All right.
So sorry if you're repeating that again, Kari.
That's okay. I actually just got launched off and back on. So you want to talk about the how to nominate yourself bit?
Well, not necessarily just about nominating yourself, but
Heck
you know,
yeah.
the nomination
yeah.
process, and you can nominate yourself.
Heck yeah, I want to know how you nominate yourself.
Well, I just put a link in the chat box. Hopefully y'all can see that.
Yep, we got
About
it.
you go there and you can literally fill out a web form to nominate yourself or someone else. And we absolutely 100% encourage people to nominate themselves. We have so many great folks all over the world, and sometimes we can't always get out in the community enough to see absolutely everyone. So if you raise your hand and say, "Hey, what about me? What about me?" It's really helpful, and we love it. So definitely reach out and be your biggest advocate. Yeah, and then if you're not quite there and you need a little help, then we can work together to see if we can help you do whatever it is you're passionate about in the community and maybe a little bit more, so that you might have a stronger chance to get that MVP award. I mean, ultimately, we want to thank and award officially as many people as we possibly can. There's so many people doing awesome stuff, but this award is really for an elite group of people. So we definitely will try to award as many people as we can, but we will most definitely absolutely know you're there if you nominate yourself. So we absolutely encourage it.
So I just put that link out there on our Facebook page, and Oz and I were talking about this before the show. I did see a picture, I think, of whenever Oz went to the MVP summit. And it was a picture of him with Mr. Excel and like Rob Colley and everybody's there. And,
I think that was me. That was me.
And I noticed, and Jordan or Oz and I were talking about this, that as I look at that picture, there's an underrepresentation of people with goatees and people wearing bow ties with hats. And my question to you is, as you look out from the 15 applications you're going to get tomorrow from people with goatees, look to get diversity among your group so that you have more people who have facial hair like me and bow ties.
So you cut in and out, but basically you want us to award people with more facial hair? Is that the rundown?
Yes, yeah. That was it. That was basically everything I had to say.
That's
all I have to contribute to the rest of the show. And bow ties.
Then what happened is Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty will wind up getting MVP and knock out like 20 people. And then you're gonna regret it, Rick. See?
I know, right?
I think we need more women in Excel. We need more women using Microsoft Excel and becoming MVPs. So I don't know if there's a program for that, but I encourage any women who want to join us.
That is a great point.
Yeah. It's good to know when you talk about people who aren't quite there yet that you're able to help nurture and get them there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help you with that. Here, I'm going to put my email address. Yeah, anybody in the community who's looking for support, help, anything, go ahead and email me. I welcome it. And not just in Excel either. We'll work with anybody who is out in the communities doing great stuff and want to help our customers. We're there.
Yeah.
Now, are there any great community events you're working on right now, Kari, coming up?
Well, I mean, we're actually working on the next MVP Summit. So it's months away, but we are working on that. And then as far as what's available to the public, I'm personally working on a lot of online events for our MVP Mentor Program, which is like a sub-program of the Mentor Program, of the MVP program, where our MVPs will teach the community a specific topic. So we have about, I think, 40 or so of those planned that are in different languages and different time zones. And actually, I'll give you the Facebook post so you can see where those are listed. And the community is absolutely invited to attend all of those.
That's pretty cool. will teach people about a specific topic.
Yes, sir.
And what's an example?
Well, an example is how to write an app for Windows 8,
Okay.
or how to get your indie game that you've developed onto the Xbox platform, or how to, create a SharePoint site with, various functionality, or how to do Windows Phone development, and on and on. We have 90 different technologies, so we try to touch as many as we can. We're nowhere near 90, but yeah, pick any product, and we'll have an MVP who wants to teach about that.
Wow, that's interesting. It was interesting to find out. I think Bob Humlis said that there's MVPs for every product.
Everyone.
Wow.
Even Xbox.
Oh yeah, Xbox.
My kids were all over that.
Well, I wonder about what you do about the wailing and gnashing of teeth around SharePoint. You got plenty of tissues and that stuff is hard. But
it wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yes. Shouting and.
It's true. Speaking of Bob Umlis, he was our very first MVP to reach the 20-year mark. He was consecutively awarded MVP for 20 straight years in Excel.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. We did a big fancy thing for him at the MVP Summit last time. But yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And I really appreciate what Rick is doing with a lot of this stuff, because I had not heard of Bob until the interview, and then it led me into other things, and I ordered one of his books last week as a result of one of these interviews. So it seems to be a pretty interesting guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of... do you know about Bill Jelen? He's another amazing guy.
Oh, we know. He's a future guest.
We've heard of him.
Okay, so you know all about him. And Mike Gervin is another awesome guy. Yeah, if you go to the MVP Award Program website, there's a whole section there where you can find MVPs in any region for any product.
Wow.
I should get that link for you too. So yeah, if you want to look up future guests on your show, this would be a good place to go.
Awesome.
Great.
And just for everybody listening, if you're looking to see where this is streaming or anything else on YouTube while she's sending that over, I am posting that out to the Facebook page, and I also just posted it to the G Plus page. And from there's the link where you can watch this on YouTube. We're streaming live right now.
Make sure if your friends weren't watching, so they couldn't see that, so make sure to send that to them as well. Yeah. Make sure that everyone has that. So are we ready for our panel discussion? I mean, it seems like a very easy segue from where we are right now.
Absolutely. So next up, Kari, first off, thank you so much. I think you're doing a lot of great work. I do think facial hair is underrepresented, but I have your commitment that you're going to work on that. So thank you. Next up is our topic of the week, and the topic of the week is all around community service, and particularly around Excel. Jordan?
So, this was a very easy segue. Very happy to have Kari with us. So, the question I'm putting before the panel, guests included, is that is it enough just to be good at a particular technology? So let's say you do Excel, you do consulting like I do. So it's no longer enough just to be good at that particular technology. Would you not say that it also requires some community involvement, going on forums and posting? I know that when I first started, the forums that really helped me, Mr. Excel, VBA Express. There's a few more. That's all that there was when I first started. Now there's LinkedIn forums. There are a lot of other things that we can go to. So, I mean, do you feel like, as kind of a technical expert, or to build your technical expertise, do you have to do more community involvement? And at the same, and a follow-up question to that is, what is making us do community involvement? Why do we all run blogs? And Kari, I know you love your job. So what motivates you to be part of this community? So that is our panel discussion.
Sure. I'll jump in to start. You know, before I didn't start, my blog till probably a year ago. And so, I started speaking at conferences maybe about 2 years or so ago around kind of business intelligence and analytics and things like that. But, before then, it was largely not being out there and not being involved. And I think that there comes to a point to where if you're passionate enough about something, your passion for that topic not only shines through in what you're doing on the job from 9 to 5, but it shines through in the way you carry yourself afterwards. And you can tell someone's passion by not only what they're doing 9 to 5, but in what they're doing afterwards and how they're helping other people and just being involved. So I think it's just an extension of who you are. I think it's an extension of reaching to that level to where you finally have that sort of passion. What do you think about that, Oz?
Passion, that's what comes through to me, and it's interesting. I like what Kari is saying about community, right? And I know that like Gervin, he doesn't code VBA, so being an MVP doesn't necessarily mean the whole entirety of Excel. So there is, yes, being an expert, but also where you give it to the community. And I just fell into this because of passion. I didn't know Excel was a skill, because when I had my W-2 job, I was in a cubicle, sitting back there, doing stuff with data that I could not wait for the business analyst to get to me. I wrote enough of a query to get a data dump, and I came up with like a 3-day process of this matching stuff in conditional format, and I didn't know anything about VLOOKUP and tables. So, but it was fun for me finding these needles in haystacks. But then, after the layoff, they laid 300 of us off and moved to Wisconsin, and then I've been freelancing ever since. And I would honestly like to stop doing projects and go and train people and empower them to pull their own ass out of a fire, and that's been my key, because students come up to me afterwards and they say, okay, my boss gave me 50 rows and 9,000 9,000 rows and 50 columns of data, and they say find something interesting. I don't even know where to start. Well, okay, I love to talk with them and help them get some idea about where to start. And it's been everything from like a slot machine manufacturer to a call center and physical therapists, and to get an email the next morning from a student saying that I look like a rock star because I could do a half-ass pivot table.
Bam.
I love that. I love that more than $1,000 for building something for a client. But having students liven up and they got something out of it. And a couple of weeks ago, I was too busy to help somebody. She couldn't, pay my tutoring fee, but I gave her a link to a couple of videos. Wow. Emailed me back. I got it. Yes. I don't care that you didn't add $50 to pay me, but you got your answer. You put your own ass out of fire. So I love that. I love it. And that's where my passion is seeing people liven up around that. And seeing it. Everything is data, and I got this when a friend of mine said, she sold her business. What did you sell? Well, I really turned over my books.
Right.
Plants, the chairs, to whatever. No, she sold the data. And where do we wind up with? We wind up back in Excel. And then a passion of mine has gotten to be around all this talk about R and big data and everything else, and talking with people who say, my job is to get people off of Excel. Okay, but there's still going to be some grant writer in a small nonprofit who still got a spreadsheet.
That's right.
And so, $120,000 a year data scientists showing up there. So,
right, so if we could turn it to Kari. I think Oz kind of just faded out there for a second.
Oh, I see him. Yeah,
Okay,
I
now he's back.
absolutely.
He's back. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's good. I think he hit it right on the head, and that is, you know, it's all about the empowerment issue for sure. There's some kind of magic that happens when you help someone altruistically and they become empowered by that. I really think it's that simple. I think it makes us feel good when we're able to truly and honestly help someone where they weren't getting there by themselves. I really don't think it's more complicated than that. It's just an inherent human thing to want to do that. And I absolutely think that's what community is all about. And it absolutely exemplifies what an MVP is, the spirit of the award. That nails it right there.
So, I'm a company, and I've blocked blogs. So this actually happened to me when I used to work for the federal government. They had blocked some blogs, and so I'd be looking for Excel answers, and I couldn't find them because those blogs were gone. So if I'm a company and I want to train my employees to become good at any technology, would you say that they should look towards the community, not just buy the books, but sort of participate in the online community and learn from each other?
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're a small company, then, there's a huge league of consultants out there that will offer top-notch training. If you're like a huge company, then you can have a contract with Microsoft where you can get that deeper training. But yeah, if you're a small company and you have a handful of folks that you want to teach Excel, or empower them in any way to be better at their jobs, then
So like, I mean, there's a lot of free websites from the MVP community, like Chandu and Mr.
yeah.
Excel. And so like there are obviously we want to support our MVPs who sell training services, including us. But we also there's such a big community out there. We just want to encourage everyone to come and contribute and take part of it. It's not just what you read in the book. It's the interactions, because you learn things from one another. That
true.
way, I've learned about a lot of the stuff that Oz does. He's asked me. We've had ideas back and forth, asking each other questions on how to do things, and we've just gotten tons of ideas.
Yeah.
And so I've learned a new business segment from Oz that I really have never actually dealt with. So
yeah, because there's a lot, so much. Because just dealing with somebody says this should really be happening in a database or Access. Oh, I got some 3-person operation, and who's going to buy Access and who's going to learn it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could agree, yeah, it should be in Access, but you have all those other things to deal with. Now, if you were sitting in an enterprise, then you go to somebody who can write a check and send you to a class. Okay, and that's a whole different market.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true, and that's one of the beautiful parts about the MVP program is that the MVPs are reaching customers that Microsoft as a whole can't touch. We don't have the scale. Like grandma who's just trying to figure out how to Skype somebody but is having a heck of a time. Like, that is the perfect person. Like, she could call Microsoft, but it's going to have kind of a, it's going to be, we're not the best on customer service, honestly, but our MVPs are totally awesome at it. So, anytime you go out and do a search for any kind of a problem with some of our products, especially in the office space, those top 5 results are most likely going to be MVPs. They're the ones who they're so on, but we definitely encourage and support and award people out there who are still helping the legions of customers that can't upgrade or haven't yet, or just, are scared to. So we'll have a whole bunch of people out there who are supporting all the customers, the ones that we can't or don't touch.
This is beautiful. I really
It is. It's great. I mean, the other really, really important part about MVPs, and it's absolutely exemplary of being a community member, is that you're the voice of the community. So we have I can't tell you like how many times a week we have MVPs from all over the world who will reach out to the product group and say, there is a fatal error in your product right here. Or, hey, did you know that this bug, it's a kind of a big bug, it's here, red alert, red alert. They're kind of like the canary in the coal mine. Or they're just saying stuff like, the color scheme is really, is really hurting senior citizens' eyes. Like, did you know that? Like, and so they come back with all this useful information. Microsoft's sort of always accused of being in their little silo in the Redmond campus, and to a large degree we really are. So we do need those MVPs out there who are like, I just had a client who can't figure out where the start button is, I just want to give you that feedback and you might want to rethink it, or something like that.
Right.
Is hugely valuable to us when we hear real stories from our MVPs.
Yeah.
So you got start button feedback.
We got a few. The
few calls.
So far, I haven't put any feedback in because I feel bad because there's this massive program here, and I'm like, I don't really like I haven't put anything in yet.
Really?
Yeah, I feel bad. I know that everyone's like, I don't know. I mean,
no,
I'll wait for something good.
No, I encourage you to get over that, and definitely, that you're in a unique situation where people on the other end of that line are actually listening. So use it to your advantage, and we need to hear it, and that's the way we work with each other too. It's we're never going to know what's bugging people or what isn't working great unless someone like you tells us. So yeah, don't feel bad. Blast us as much as you want.
All right, I have tons of email now.
That's good to know. That's good.
You're gonna read this,
right? that you're not. You don't become an MVP and then drink the Kool-Aid, right?
Oh,
actually become a real partner, okay?
It's true.
You are independent experts. It's real. They take it seriously. Absolutely
true. One of the reasons why I exist is that I'm a buffer between the rest of Microsoft and the MVPs. So we can really maintain that independent expert part. And, there's several times in my experience where I've had to remind folks at Microsoft that this person doesn't necessarily work the way we work, and that they are independent and they have their own voice. As harsh as it sounds sometimes, you just you have to say, this is great advice, and thank you for giving it. And for the most part, everyone internally is definitely super excited about getting that feedback. But yeah, MVPs are a tough crowd. They don't mince words.
Okay.
They don't put any feathers on anything.
No, they definitely tell it straight.
They load their feedback gun and they fire it.
Wow.
So they need a buffer.
Yeah, I like to smooth out some of the comments around the edges.
You'd think it was hate mail if you didn't know. I'm just joking. It's not that bad.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Is Rick still with us?
What is Rick doing?
He looks like he's just smiling there. Well, I think we're at a point where we can talk about this week's tip. Do you want to go ahead and do that, Oz?
All right. Well, here,
I'm hoping that I get your first non-5 Sriracha tip. Okay. So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. I'm going for 3 Sriracha. Whenever I get hot wings, I get I'm the guy who gets mild. So we're gonna go for a mild Sriracha if there's such a thing. All right. So here's the thing. This isn't VBA. It's not a real big deal. But if you don't know how to do this, it's a pain, right? So here it is. I'm going to try to share this real quick. And this is particularly if you're trying to build dashboards or you're trying to build something that's pretty with objects and things like that. So let's go ahead and see if I can share my screen. Full screen.
There should just be a button, right? That's how they should do it. Just hit it. Shows everything you need.
Okay. You can see my desktop right now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So this is like, you might be putting together some sort of an analysis like this, and this is like a net present value, kind of finance sort of stuff. And so you might be putting together templates, or this could be for any sort of dashboards at all. And what I mean by that is whenever you're putting these together, a lot of times you'll end up having objects, where you'll do like an insert, and you'll come over and you'll put in a shape, and you have your shape here. And this happens a lot with dashboards, right? Because you want to have a real pretty like header for your dashboard, right? Here's the problem with this is whenever you go in and you start to put in new rows or change the size of the rows, it does that to you, right? It ends up messing up everything for you, right? So let's walk you through how you can fix that. I want three srirachis out of this. So I'm trying to get you. So let's go ahead and start this from the very beginning. Let's say you're about to create a dashboard, and you say I want to have a pretty header here, and we're not going to use Jordan's tip from last week where he auto sized all this. Let's just go ahead and put in some text, and with that. Srirachi dashboard. Woot. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and just format this real quick. Okay. So here's the thing. Right now, let's go ahead and undo that. There is a setting. And again, this is one of those things that if you don't know how to do this, it's a pain for you. But if you do know how to do it, this is something that just everything gets set for you. So you can come down here, I right-clicked on this and go to Size and Properties. Size and Properties, go down to the little Properties area here, and there's this little thing here on whether or not you want this to move but don't size with cells, or don't move and don't size with cells. And in this case, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and set that. So now, as a result, now if you're creating your dashboard or anything else like that, and you end up doing some quick inserts, or you start moving things around, you see I just inserted a ton of cells. We'll just insert 2 more. And I'm inserting more and more rows every single time, but now nothing is changing to the object. So the object is pretty much stuck in place. So that's the tip, particularly if you're looking to do dashboards, you're looking to build templates, particularly things with a lot of objects. There's that little thing right there that'll help to make your life to where it's not nearly as much of a pain.
Yep. And I've used that a lot when, say, leaving instructions for people that I've built stuff for, and you want to move stuff around or have room for a pivot table or something, but you don't want the instructions to move. So yes. So what
Good stuff.
I'm going to say is yes. That is a 3 sriracha tip.
Bam.
Because
Bam.
Why? Because you need that warmth, right? But this won't set you on fire.
It just kind of warms you all up, like up in here. Warms you all up in here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So So Jordan, Kari, you have a tip? Want to share?
You think you want to join?
Not this week.
Okay, sounds good. Well then, thank you very much for the hot Excel tips, Oz.
Hot tips.
Hot tips. So next up, news, industry news. We'll just go around the corner and go around the bend. Oz, anything from you from news out in the industry?
I just need for people to realize that 2003 and XP will no longer be supported after April. I'm serious.
That's a great tip, actually.
What is the significance of that?
That means that if you're still on XP or 2003, then you won't be getting any more security updates to those programs. So you're at higher risk for a security breach or some kind of a spam bot or something like that.
Right.
So if you have people that need to upgrade, help them out, and if they need help, then email me and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, and just to follow up with that, before Office licenses were pretty expensive. Now with Office 365, you can go online, you can get one on that monthly basis, and it's very affordable for families. And I'm not getting a referral for anything for that, but that's what you should do.
Are we sponsored by Microsoft now?
Right. No, I'm not getting anything for that. If you have 2003 and you're worried and you wanna upgrade, that's what you should do. Office 365, great program.
But now,
Yeah.
Here is the thing that comes up though is I've had clients ready to upgrade, and then they go see the zillion and one options out there, and then they get freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a hassle for me to, I got 365 and then found out with Power Pivot I needed Pro Plus, and that was a week of trying to figure out how to get that, and so.
Well, if you have 2003, we don't want to overload them with Power Pro Plus.
Well, no,
like easy step, baby steps.
Well, no. Like there's a small business in Texas. I think it does like residential electricity. So it's a small business, so it does, and he's got some business something, right? 365 would not have worked, but he couldn't figure out what would work.
Yeah, that is a big conundrum, actually. I'm trying to find. There's a great resource where there's a whole list of what is in and is not in each of the versions of each of the products, because it is definitely confusing and different, and there's a lot to know. I would say if anyone in your community has a question, and that's an absolutely valid concern, is to definitely reach out to the community, whether it be Microsoft communities, the forums, or just do a basic search and on the question, and our Microsoft MVPs will probably come up. And if that's still confusing, then definitely email me, and I'll refer you to that list that helps break it down. And I've had to look a lot of that stuff up, because as we transition to a cloud-based product, that kind of stuff is definitely confusing for our customers. So if anyone in the community has a question about it, then check with the community, look into our MVP's advice, and then check with me as well.
Gotcha. All right. Cool.
Anything from you, Jordan?
No, just following what Oz said. If you
Okay.
have 2003, you should start making plans to figure out what the next course of action is.
So I have two things. First off, I did notice it over Kari's shoulder. It looks like there's a bottle of champagne.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that too? Oh, look at that. It's just, so that's how they do it in Redmond, huh?
It's been there since last Christmas.
Nice.
Just waiting for that special occasion. Right?
The only other thing I have is I did listen to Chandu's initial podcast last week, and so first off, congratulations, Chandu.
Much love to our friend Chandu.
Absolutely. So for some reason I didn't think he was releasing it until May. So congratulations on that. Come on to the show, Chandu. Talk about it. Talk about it with us. So that's all I've got. So last thing, shameless plugs. Shameless plugs. Let us know what's happening on your sites or anything like that. Over to you, Oz.
Well, Oz here with datascopic.net. I'm here. I've got a couple of private workshops coming up at some postdoc students at University of Illinois Chicago, and at a small marketing firm. They want to learn VBA. So that's what's happening in my future, and wrapping up a couple of projects dealing with a law firm's payroll. So that's a lot of good things, and I blog over at datascopic.net, and that's about what's happening right now.
Anything you'd like to share, Kari?
Yes, I do. I have a great little site here for you that'll help you break down the different features that are in the different versions of Office 365. I also posted a link on how you can get a free trial to Office 365. So if you are just wanting to check it out, see if it's right for you, if it's going to do what you need it to, check out that link. And I totally encourage anyone to email me if they need help on anything, or if they just want to talk about community, or if they have things that they want to plug in our community. I'm all ears.
Sounds great. And I'm putting all of those, every time that you put this into the chat message, I'm putting it over onto our Facebook page. So if anybody wants to go over to the Excel TV Facebook page, you'll see these links just as she sent it on to us.
Oh, great.
Great. Well, thank you, Kari. Anything for you, Jordan?
There's some exciting posts coming out at optionexplicitvba.com about why I believe we should code differently. Hold on one second. This cat keeps jumping on my lap.
Yeah, same as last time.
This is the official cat of Excel. This cat does not stop leaving me alone. And the other thing is, I want to mention, of course, the partnership we're doing between us and VBA Express. So there's a lot of cool changes going on at VBAExpress.com forthcoming the next few weeks. So make sure to head on over there. And I'm getting really close to finishing the book. So if you've been patiently waiting on that for the last 2 years, I'm really close. Hang in there.
Don't
cancel it yet.
I interviewed Jordan. Gosh, it must have been feels like 3 months ago, and he says, I'm almost done.
I know. It's almost right on the cusp.
Don't tell anybody it's not going to be January, though. Let's cut that out of the interview.
Need more sriracha sauce to get you going.
I know. Right? I need to get a fire up. No, I won't say that. It's a good program. It's a family program.
Anything else from you, Jordan?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. For me, I'm this week. The reason I'm in a hotel room is I'm speaking at a conference, an HR conference. The conversation or the presentation I'm giving this Friday at 8:30 in Orlando is around HR dashboards and what sort of guidelines should you put in place and what sort of steps should you take to create an HR dashboard. And a lot of that includes also the mock-ups and things that you could do in Excel. And so, there's a series of steps that you could take. And when should you do the mock-up, versus other steps. So I'm doing that presentation this Friday. I went into the room today, and the room held like 350 people. So I'm hoping that since it's the last day of the conference, that everybody just kind of leaves before that happens. But so if you are potentially of all 7 people who are watching this right now, if you happen to be the one person who's at this conference, come on by. I'll buy you some coffee.
All right.
Feel free to come on by. I also posted about this on my blog, so you can find out more about it at rickgrantham.com/blog, where I have a video that talks about it as well. Last thing to talk about really are our social accounts. So where can you find us? And we have some exciting things happening with that right now. You can find us on YouTube. Hopefully this is streaming there right now. Google+, hopefully that's where you found us in the first place. Of course on Facebook and Twitter, and there's also some pages that are set up right now on VBA forums. So on the VBA Express forums, there's like a few I don't know, threads, I guess you would call it, a few sections there that are all around Excel TV. So you can find us there as well, to where we're talking about the show that's coming up. We talked a little bit about Kari Finn, so she can find some information about herself out there if she wanted to go check it out. But also, we just started our LinkedIn. So there's 3 of us, and now there's 1 extra person. So whoever that extra person was that joined our LinkedIn Excel TV group, thank you. Additionally, one last thing is we've taken this, the audio from these things, we've turned them into an MP3, and we've shot those over, and we received word last night that iTunes has accepted our podcast. So what that means is, oh no, now we have to figure out what it means to run a podcast. Right. So create an Excel, as if create a Google Hangout was a hard no. So we're figuring that out right now. Getting our artwork up and in place. If you went over there, there'd be a placeholder for Excel TV right now, but hopefully here within the next week or so, we'll start streaming the rest of this content out there, and you can listen to us while you run as well. So that's it for me, and that's it for the things that we're doing right now.
All right.
Anything else from you guys?
Oh.
Nope. Play us out.
Well, Kari, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank Kari.
Yeah,
Yep,
it was
thanks.
an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I love what you guys are doing, and good luck with it. This is awesome.
Right.
Sounds great. Well, until next time, everybody, this is Rick and Oz and Jordan. Saying bye.
All right.
We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you all on the social channels.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.